We want to start with a glittered tumbler that has 2 coats of epoxy and is sanded smooth. When I'm working with this many colorants, I like to organize my workstation ahead of time. I line up my colors in the order that I want to apply them, which is typically darkest to lightest. For a tumbler this size, I like to mix about 50 mLs of epoxy. I certainly won't use that much, but when I have this many colorants, I like to have extra in case I don't like how things are mixing and I want to add something last minute or play around a little bit more to achieve a color that I'm trying to get. Once the epoxy is fully mixed, I'm going to apply a thin coat to my tumbler. This is definitely not a full coat. I would say it's probably somewhere between 5 and 8 mLs. Once the epoxy is applied, let it spin for a few minutes to level out and let any bubbles rise to the top. Next, I'm going to use my propane torch to pop any bubbles. This is much better than a butane torch. I'll make sure to link it in the description. Next, we will mix our colorants. For a tumbler this size, I'll typically put about 5 to 7.5 mLs of epoxy in each cup. I also like to use several different kinds of colorants because they have different densities and will create really cool effects on your cup. As you can see here, I'm using dispersion colors, I'm using acrylic paint, armor art, and mica. I've also used intense colors and alcohol inks as well, just not in this instance. Now we get to apply our colors. As I mentioned earlier, I like to apply them from darkest to light, and as I'm applying the different colors, I make sure to apply them on top of and next to each other because that's how you get the cool swirls and effects that we're looking for in this style. Once I've applied all the colors, I'll actually go back and lightly apply them again on top of each other. I feel like this just gives an added layer of depth and cool effects that we're looking for. Once this spins for a few minutes, I'm going to torch it again with my propane torch, but this time I'm doing it very lightly. I've noticed here that I didn't have as much colorants on the bottom of the tumbler as I'd like, so I'm just adding a little bit more. In order to achieve cells and cool swirls, we need to use a mini butane torch. I like this one from Harbor Freight because it has an adjustable flame and I can really pinpoint specific areas that I want to target with movement. I always recommend wearing a respirator, but it's very important during this step because you're getting so close to the epoxy it's possible to burn it. Sometimes you might get big globs that you want to break up, and I'll just use a silicone makeup brush to do that like you see here. Continue to use the butane torch to achieve movement in your epoxy. Just be careful not to over torch as it will make all of your colors blend together.